Iléeṣẹ́ rédíò àkọ́kọ́ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún wákàtí mẹ́rìnlélógún gbáko lónírúurú ètò àti ìròyìn tó gbámúṣe lójoojúmọ́ láti jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jẹ̀gbádùn ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ àṣetán láti máa dùn yín nínú. Àgídìgbò 88.7 FM ohùn aráàlú.
Àgídìgbò 88.7 FM.
There's a lot to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies these voices, stories and reports that make the difference. This is Agidigbo News, 88.7 FM.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening, welcome to the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Bowale Akinbode. First, the headlines. NLC threatens protest over Electoral Act amendment. Oyo government implements measures to protect work and pay drivers as it tackles vehicle seizure practices. U.S. wants Russia and Ukraine to end war by June, says Zelensky. South Africa to withdraw troops from UN mission in DRC after 27 years. Aduku backs Falconets to finish job in Senegal after first leg slim win. Now the details. The Nigeria Labour Congress has warned of potential nationwide protest and election boycott over what it described as confusion and contradictory positions by the Senate on amendment to the Electoral Act, particularly regarding electronic transmission of election results. The NLC President Joe Ajaero said in a statement today, accused the Senate of undermining public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process by failing to clearly state whether electronic transmission of results will be mandatory. According to the NLC, the lack of clarity surrounding the Senate's decisions threatens electoral integrity and public trust, stressing that Nigerians deserve a transparent system where votes are not only counted but seen to be counted. The union also warned that legislative ambiguity at a critical period following the 2023 general elections could institutionalize doubt within the electoral system. Bread is a staple food in many cultures and an essential for millions. From crusty loaves to soft rolls, bread is a common thread across tables worldwide. Agidigbo FM correspondents report on bread consumption, trends, patterns, and insights into how people around the world enjoy this timeless food. Here is the detail.
15-20 years ago, flour
loaf is better than none, and that is the story of some Nigerians currently experiencing the hike in the cost of different sizes and slices of bread. Bread, which is made from flour and other ingredients, is a common food that can be taken with tea, beans, akara, moi moi, and other food combinations. Bread used to be a delicious and affordable meal for every Nigerian, irrespective of income. However, some Nigerians are finding other alternatives. Bread makers lamented the high cost of flour, sugars, and fuels are some of the reasons while the size of bread is reducing.
Government should try to help us. Maybe they should give us loan that will have low interest. When they offer that loan, it will be easy for us to produce. We have capacity to produce a large.
Bakers also lamented that the cost of flour is too high and it is affecting their businesses. Speaking with Agidigbo FM News, bakers lamented that the rate with which the price of the ingredients skyrocketed made the profit drop drastically.
The high price of the flour and the high price of the other ingredients, our profits is not like that time before. You know, if the bread is small, people will be complain that your bread is small, and if because of that, we need to manage ourselves.
Speaking with Agidigbo FM News, a caterer also shared that the quantity of the old ingredients are even being reduced unlike before.
Flour ó ti wọ́n jù, ó ti pọ̀ jù. So ẹlẹ́kejì profit tó ń jáde lórí ẹ̀ kò tó nǹkan kan mọ́ because everything ìgbà tó ti wọ́n, so profit yẹn ó lọ down. So I make profit more much bí ti tẹ́lẹ̀.
Another bread maker, Muritala Nuruddin Oladimeji, said the bread business is no longer for the weak.
Bread wá di iṣẹ́ olówó. Àwọn olówó nìkan ló lè dúró. Irú tá a gbé lẹ́yìn ìsìnkú less than 700,000 bẹ́ẹ̀ sí wo. Ṣé àwọn ẹ̀sán Samad nìyẹn ò tí ì dán? Etí ẹni tí ó bá ti dówó rẹ̀ kò ní sí mbẹ̀. Ó dẹ̀ kéré jù àwọn táwọn ń bì báyìí. A tó 12 tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ ń bì. Aláwọn cleaner lẹ́yìn àwọn ilé àtúntò láwọn míì a tó 12. Káwá 12 yẹn káwá bọ́ta káwá náà mọ̀ rìn káàkiri sẹ́wọ̀n pé wàhálà máa dé nílùú.
Bread makers and bakers have appealed to the federal government to implement policy that can make the economy and business favorable to small and large business owners.
The Oyo State government has begun implementing measures to address bottlenecks surrounding vehicles acquired through hire purchase agreements, particularly those affecting transport operators across the state. The intervention is aimed at curbing what stakeholders described as draconian practices by some vehicle owners who seize vehicles despite substantial payments already made by operators under the popular work and pay agreement. This was disclosed during the stakeholders' engagement held at the Ministry of Trade, Cooperatives and Industry on Friday in Ibadan. The Commissioner for Investment, Trade, Cooperatives and Industry, Mr. Adeniyi Adebisi, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Olajide Okeshade, explained that the engagement was organized following a resolution of the Oyo State House of Assembly calling on the government to intervene and ensure fairness, sustainability and transparency in hire purchase operations. The Commissioner also reaffirmed the commitment of the Governor Seyi Makinde-led administration to people-centered governance, noting that engagement was designed to gather practical insights towards developing a balanced policy framework that protects livelihoods while encouraging responsible enterprise practices. A public affairs analyst on Agidigbo FM radio, Comrade Segun Ogungbayi, has called on the federal government from all levels, especially the subnational, for the proactiveness on the insecurity in the nation. Speaking on the radio station Shokanwa today, Comrade Segun stressed that Nigeria's insecurity matter will persist unless those financing terrorism are punished according to law.
When an arm of government is not functioning, you know what that means. So until we begin to understand what it means to work closely with all the tiers of government, it is then that this country will move forward. And also, we have to quickly look into what are they doing with the security votes. The security votes government is giving to them. Are the governors spending the money? What are security votes used for? Those are questions that need to be asked. And I won't be suicides and killings and maimings in some states are bringing more money to the governors because it will increase their security votes, and you ask them, what are you doing with it?
Relatively, another analyst on the program, Comrade Babalola, also called on the federal government to stop wasting money on repairing the refinery of Nigeria and use what he described as public-private partnership to revamp the refinery.
Several nations in the world, they are coming to them to refine, and they are getting their money. We are blessed with crude oil. Why won't we have refineries? America has more than 25 refineries. So the only one that we have, even if it's not working, that is what we can do. And that's why I suggested that we should do PPP, public-private partnership. At least that will revamp our refineries. If we cannot fight it, we can beckon to nations that are more developed than the nation. They are already there as far as technology is concerned. Look at what America did last December. But I thank God because they are here presently now in Nigeria. At least they enter through Togo. Let's see what is going to happen.
However, Comrade Segun also called on the government concerning the environmental problems as he urged the government to provide facilities to curb indiscriminate refuse dumping. And now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kunle studio at Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed that the United States of America wants the war with Russia to end by June, saying both sides had been invited to the US for discussion next week. America has proposed for the first time that the two negotiating teams for Ukraine and Russia to meet in the US, probably in Miami, in a week, according to Zelensky. Although there was no immediate comment from Washington or Moscow, but US President Donald Trump has been pushing for an end to the conflict since he took office more than a year ago. Meanwhile, Russia has continued its attacks on nuclear energy infrastructure, causing further widespread blackout during freezing conditions. According to a statement released yesterday, Zelensky explained what took place during the second round of U.S. brokered peace talks in Abu Dhabi, which ended on firecrackers, smoke bombs, and bottles at them near a Winter Olympic venue. Police officers confronted about 100 protesters. Some of them wore hoods and scarves to cover their faces. 6 people were arrested during the altercation. The main demonstration saw an estimated 10,000 people taken to the streets of Milan yesterday on the first full day of the Olympic to protest against the environmental, economic, and social impacts of the Games. And that ends the news from Kunle studio at Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. Kyiv's foreign minister has said the Ukrainian and Russian leaders need to meet in person. In an interview that Ukraine wants to accelerate the effort to end the 4-year-old war and capitalize on momentum in the U.S. brokered talks before other factors come into play, such as campaigning for the U.S. congressional midterm elections in November. South Africa will withdraw its troops from the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, President Cyril Ramaphosa's office said in a statement. Ramaphosa has told UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres about the decision, which was influenced by the need to realign the resources of South Africa's armed forces. South Africa has supported U.S. peacekeeping efforts in Congo for about 27 years and has more than 700 soldiers deployed there. The UN mission had a total of nearly 11,000 troops and police deployed when its mandate was extended in December. The UN mission's mandate is to counter the many rebel groups active in Congo's restive east, where conflict has raged for decades and where there has been a recent escalation in fighting. South Africa will work jointly with the UN to finalize the timelines and other modalities of the withdrawal, which will be completed before the end of 2026, according to the statement. That is the news from Kule Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
And now to the exciting world of sport. Head coach of Nigeria's under-20 women's national team, Moses Aduku, has assured Nigerians that the Falconets will deliver a stronger performance in the return leg of the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier against Senegal. Nigeria secured a narrow 1-0 victory in the first leg on Saturday at the MKO Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta, Ogun State, giving the Falconets a slim advantage ahead of the decisive away fixture, as both teams displayed energy and discipline in a closely contested opening half, but neither side was able to find a breakthrough before the interval. Speaking after the match, Aduku played down concerns over the team's first half display, insisting that the squad would show greater sharpness in the second leg, admitting that Nigeria's initial tactical approach did not work as planned in the first half, but expressed satisfaction with the team's response after the break. With the victory, Nigeria take a narrow lead into the return fixture in Senegal, where the Falconets will aim to defend their advantage and secure a place in the fourth and final round of the African qualifiers for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Poland 2026. The return leg is scheduled for February 14 in Senegal, where Nigeria will seek to consolidate their advantage and advance to the next round. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. NLC threatens protest over Electoral Act amendment. Oyo government implements measures to protect work and pay drivers as it tackles vehicle seizures practices. United States wants Russia and Ukraine to end war by June, says Zelensky. South Africa to withdraw troops from UN mission in DRC after 27 years. Aduku backs Falconets to finish job in Senegal after first leg slim win.
Don't forget that you can listen to us live on our website www.agidigbo887fm.com. You can also download our mobile app on Google Play Store and iOS. Simply search for Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Follow us on Facebook at Agidigbo 88.7 FM, on Twitter and Instagram at Agidigbo 887 FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have news stories and tips for us, contact our newsroom on 070-8714-4865 or send us a mail on newsroom@agidigbo887fm.com.
And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Action breeds confidence and courage. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Bowale Akinbode. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out-of-school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.